Pierce from Hamilton County Schools. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We are working on our last day of Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Cap, and Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. So go ahead and do this warm up. Which of the texts we read this week portrayed the theme that we discussed, that theme that people need to be cautious of strangers? And why do you think that? Pause me while you do that work and press play when you're ready to continue. So what we're going to do today is we are going to plan for and write an essay arguing this. And I'm going to give you two options. I'm going to let you choose between Little Red Cap and Little Red Riding Hood. I'm going to model with Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. So first, what I want you to do is to look at this prompt. You've just read Little Red Cap, Little Red Riding Hood, and Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. All three texts develop a similar theme. People need to be cautious of strangers. In an essay, make a claim about which text most clearly developed the theme. Be sure to include evidence from all three texts in your argument. So the first thing I want us to do is I want you to highlight any words in this that tell you what type of writing we will do. All right, so hopefully you saw the word make a claim, which tells you you're going to be making an argument essay. You can't make a claim unless it's an argument essay. Next, I want you to think about the question you will answer in this text. Highlight words that tell you what question you will answer. All right, hopefully you saw the question is, which text most clearly developed that theme? And then finally, what sources do you need to cite? Okay, what words tell you what sources you need to cite? Hopefully you saw that it says from all three texts. And then up here, it tells you what those three texts are. So you need to cite all three of them, not just the one that you think is the best. All right, so now what we need to do is actually start planning. So first, we need to write our claim. So again, I'm going to write my claim as though I am arguing that Roald Dahl's text, Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf, is the best portrayal of the theme. So after reading, I'm going to cite all of them here. Little Red Cap by the Grimm brothers, Little Red Riding Hood by Perrault, and Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf by Roald Dahl. It is clear that Dahl most clearly developed the theme that people need to be cautious around strangers. If you look, most of those words I got from the prompt. People need to be cautious of strangers, clearly developed the theme. Next, I need to come up with my reasoning. The reason that I'm modeling with this is because I think that it's difficult to argue that Roald Dahl is the best. So first of all, I think that, what did I say? 16, not bold. First of all, I think that, so my supporting ideas are these overarching reasons. Why is Roald Dahl the best at this? I think that he made the character of Little Red Riding Hood more independent and sassy. So I'm going to say the more independent version of the character, Little Red Riding Hood, in Dahl's version, highlights the theme. So I think that one is pretty easy because it's something that we've talked about, right? However, the other one is more difficult. So I'm going to say getting more information on the wolf's backstory highlights the theme. So the reason I'm going to say that is because if you guys remember that text, there's a lot of him, whereas the others focus more on her. She's not even in it until like the last two stanzas. So then I'm just going to provide evidence. And I'm going to go ahead and think about why my evidence supports this idea, but I'm not going to write that here. So I need evidence from all three texts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use doll. I'm going to use Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf for both of them, and then I'm going to find a piece of evidence for Grimm for one of them, and a piece of evidence from Perot for one of them. So first, I'm going to find my doll stuff. So for the independent character, I'm going to do the part where she brings out the pistol. She whips a pistol from her knickers. She aims it at the creature's head, and bang, 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 she shoots him dead. So I know that contributes to the theme because she didn't trust this stranger, right? So that's how it contributes to the theme. Getting more information on the wolf's backstory. So I need to include something about the wolf's backstory from Doll's text. So where he says he ran around the kitchen yelping, got to have a second helping. So I think that helps support the theme, because hearing that the wolf was really selfish, really just thinking about having a second helping, shows us that strangers can't be trusted. So now I have to find an example from Grimm's Brothers, Little Red Cap, for one of these, and then for the other one, I'll do Perot. So I have to think which one makes more sense. I think that we get, I think that the worst version of Little Red Riding Hood, the least independent version of Little Red Riding Hood, was in Little Red Riding Hood by Perot. So I'm going to go ahead, I don't know if that's how you say his name. I'm going to go ahead and choose a piece of evidence from that one to prove that she is more independent in Doll's version. So the poor child who did not know that it was dangerous to stay and talk to a wolf. And that is from Perot. So this shows that she's really oblivious, she's not independent, and she did not know that she shouldn't trust a stranger. We are less likely to learn from her because she doesn't know. And then I need to find one from Grimm that shows that we don't get much of his backstory. But the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door. So we're not getting a whole lot from the wolf here, which makes it harder for us to realize that we shouldn't trust him, right? This time we really see his evilness, and this one we don't see his evilness as much. So when I write my essay, that's what I would do. So what I want you guys to do, if you haven't yet, is go through and fill out a chart like this for yourself. And then you're literally just going to do a flash draft. I want you to write a flash draft of this essay. It will be graded as a draft. It's not going to be graded as a final copy, but as a draft. I do want you to remember that good writers consider how best to support the claim they're making in an essay. I did the most difficult one. I think that it's hard to argue that Roald Dahl's version is the best in terms of supporting the theme that we need to be cautious around strangers. However, obviously I can make that argument. I think the other two, you'll be able to argue easier. So once you have written that flash draft, you are good to go. I'm gonna bring it back up to the prompt so you can see it again. Once you're done, have a wonderful rest of your day.